Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Bloom, Group Publisher of Walls and Ceilings, and welcome to a special episode of If Walls Could Talk. It's always an honor to have Scott Montgomery, who is the owner of Drywall by Design. Scott, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always, a highlight of the show to come and hang out with you and chat, talk shop, right?
We are talking shop, well, because we're here at Build 24, and there's always, you never know what you're going to see. You never know what might be new. But what are you seeing on the show floor so far that you just kind of caught your eye?
Well, again, the reveal cut is really neat. Hilti's BX4, all new nailer. Graco's got the new XT line of sprayers, which is the first time they've ever had a motor built specifically for airless spraying. So spraying texture finishes and the like. There's some neat stuff.
Yeah, very cool. Well, in addition to your really cool Instagram page, you have like a gazillion followers on. How did you get started with that?
With the social media?
Yeah. And why? I mean, you put a lot of time into that.
Yeah, that goes back 12 years or something like that. Back to like online web forums and making videos for each other, like sharing knowledge online to like pre-Instagram, pre-social media.
Okay.
And it just, started making videos back then for YouTube, and it just progressed.
Yeah.
And working with different companies like TrimTex, and showing off their stuff and visiting Joe down in Chicago. Just built it up, and it just grew over the years.
I love it. Well, you do some really cool things there. So if no one's following you, what's your handle on Instagram?
Drywall by Design is my.
All right, there you go.
On any of the social medias. Yep.
So another thing I want to talk to you about, Scott, though, is a little bit about on the business side. And really, we were just talking about relationships. And also, when you were first starting, if you could talk to yourself when you first started, what are some things that you would tell yourself now, or things that you wish you would have known that would have helped you early on in your career with Drywall?
There's a lot of knowledge from reps. Like I leaned pretty hard on reps and sales reps and product reps when I was starting out, because I kind of didn't plan on going on my own as early as I did, but I did. And often, there's specs for these big jobs that I take on, just like, okay, I can do this. And,
oh my God.
And then they'd give me the spec. I'm like, oh my God, hey, Matt, they want me to do this studio. They want these products. How do I do it? And they'd help me out. And so your sales reps at your distributors, product reps, they're around and they want to help. So I have over the years leaned, I still do. I phone them up and say, they want this finish. How do I do it? Like, what product do I need? Because they know the products, right? They have a huge line, and it's impossible to know them all, right? So,
and I think that sometimes it's not that it's hard for people to ask for help, but sometimes I think people don't necessarily want to. But what?
And that's an issue in our industry, is everybody thinks they know everything. And again, like trying new things is been my whole mantra, and the entire page is just trying to learn something and see if it does work. Seeing if that thing I saw somewhere somebody do, see if it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But
yeah, very nice. Well, I want to go back and talk about Hilti for a second, because they've made some updates to their BX. Is it the BX22?
They have the BX4 now. They've upgraded from the BX3.
Okay.
So trying to remember all the details. It was just announced. This is the first time it's being seen in public. Is at this show. It's got a faster firing rate, and it's got an angle. The biggest change is the angled magazines to get more clearance, working around fixtures and then and more power and on and on. But the biggest thing is that angled magazine and up to 1 5/8 nails now with a
it's a cool tool for sure. I know. Well, we've got over here. We'll have to show it to everybody. And also for everybody listening, if you do subscribe to Walls and Ceilings right now, your name will go into a raffle to win one of the new Hilti tool, or I should say the updated Hilti tool.
Yeah, that's an amazing prize. I think that's $1,000 tool. And
it is, yes.
It's a moneymaker, that thing.
And of course, there's a lot of features and benefits to that tool that contractors love for sure, which is probably why you use a lot of Hilti tools.
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, what else is going on, Scott? What else should we talk about? What else? So all the contractors listening, what else what other great knowledge nuggets can you share?
Actually, one thing I'm really interested in, I've been doing it for like 10 years, is the dustless sanding. And I was talking to a guy today, and he's like, it's coming for us, the legislation.
Okay.
I think that's going to be a major thing in the next 10 years.
Was that the silica rule?
Yeah, the silica, we saw it in the concrete industry.
Yeah.
Just in the past, I think it started in 2017.
Yeah.
And I think that's coming down the pipe for our industry, and that is going to change a lot of job sites.
What worries you? What worries you the most about that?
Well, the cost for smaller guys.
Okay.
But I think it's nothing. It's something that needs to happen. It makes life so much better, and you're not getting sick, and you're not going home coughing up
dust,
white goop, right? It's a health thing, and it's now we have the technology. We didn't before, but like I said, I've been doing it for 10 years, but now I think it's coming down the
When you
road.
say you've been doing it for 10 years, what do you mean? Wearing the respirator?
No, using dustless sanding systems.
Oh, got it.
Right, and I've progressed more and more. That's a big part of my sales stick is I run a clean job site. Right.
Okay.
I'm not covering a person's house with drywall dust.
Yeah.
So
now when you use a dustless sander, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
How does that? Does it take a little bit more time to use that? Like what are
No, dustless power sanding is faster, right?
Okay.
Like you've got a power sander, you run through once you get skilled at it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more equipment, it's more expensive, but it's going to come down, and we're going to be kind of forced into it. And the other thing that's coming now is drywall cutout tools, which create a huge amount of dust. They would be second to sanding. You can get vacuum attachments for that. All tools now, I think, coming from that concrete world, we got all the tech there. Now it's filtering to our side.
Yeah.
And I think other parts of the world are really embracing it, and I think it's just a matter of time, right? And then for anybody, that's the way I make my money, is selling that cleanliness. Customers, I always tell them, customers, they if they're cleaning for a month after you leave,
it's the worst.
If you're doing a renovation, they're going to remember that long after the beauty of their drywall walls. They can't tell from a perfect finish. They're going to remember cleaning up and vacuuming and dusting.
We have lived. Yes, I lived through that. I know the pain of that.
Yeah.
But which one do you like the best of the dustless sanders?
Ooh.
Putting you on the spot now. Or your top 2 or 3. Who are some of the best ones out there?
Depending what you're doing. If I finish sanding, it would be the Hilti. It is the most like a traditional sander, but the best finish.
Okay.
And it's light, and all-around renovations, probably the Festival. Bosch just released a nice one for the budget, which is kind of a do-all, and it's a budget sander, but has all the features of the more expensive ones, just at $500, I think, or even less. It's not quite as fancy as the other ones, but
okay. I love it. Yeah. Well, very good insight for everybody listening.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, so if anybody wants to follow you or learn more about you, tell us your handle again on Instagram.
It's Drywall by Design, and I specialize in mostly the new stuff, new techniques.
I love it.
Different stuff.
It's always great. It's always great to see what you're posting, because it's always unique, or there's some fun thing just to watch. Especially, I think I like it when you zoom up the process. You're like, okay, here he goes, and you can see it really quickly.
Yeah.
Like, wow, he's fast.
Awesome. Yeah, people don't have the patience anymore, so you gotta go.
They don't, right? Yes, gotta speed it up. Well, Scott, thank you so much for joining me. It's always great to talk to you. And if anybody has any questions for us, it's wconline.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for all our free content. Make sure you follow us as well on our social media so you can stay up to date on all the great interviews we're doing, like we are today with Scott. But most importantly, stay safe and healthy, and we can't wait to talk to you soon.